Hi everybody, I'm Kiki. Today's going to be a little bit of a different video. So for those of you who don't know me, I suffer from a lot of different chronic illnesses that mainly have come from Lyme disease. So I figure if I can help somebody, if I can help one person through my channel, then it makes everything worth it. But if you don't have anything that kind of resonates on my side, maybe you know somebody that you can pass me along to and I can try and help them. So going back to the very beginning, probably 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I had a friend growing up that her grandma lived about 2 roads away from me. Growing up, I was from Arizona. I lived in the desert. We didn't think Lyme disease even existed out there. We thought it was just a East Coast, like right in the New York area. We thought that's all it was. We didn't know. Growing up, my friend's grandma, she bred a lot of like teacup poodles, Pomeranians, all sorts of little dogs. And so they always had puppies. So me and my friend were always at their house playing with all of these puppies. I would come home with ticks all the time. You know, you're a kid, you pop them off, you flush them, whatever. You don't think anything of it because you're in elementary school. That's not a thought that would occur in your mind. Fast forward into my middle school years, I had bronchitis. I'd have it for probably 2 months at a time, and then I'd get better for maybe a month at the most, and then I'd get it again and again and again. And we couldn't figure out what it was. My doctor was always like, well, we'll give you the Z-Pack, whatever, give you all the steroids, get it out of your system, and then I guess we'll see you again in another month. My dad's friend was a kinesiologist, and he figured there was something going on with my stomach, so he had me drinking apple cider vinegar before I would eat or drink anything that wasn't water. So that did seem to help. Now at this point, anytime I get a cough, because my bronchial tract was all screwed up from coughing as hard as I was for so many years, I get bronchitis very, very often. So we thought we had that all covered. And then in 2009, I fell asleep on a houseboat dock. It was just your average summer weekend. We're just hanging out. I took a nap on the dock, and I woke up with a headache. And it has not gone away since. I wake up and I go to sleep with a headache every single day. And that was, 14 years ago? 16? How old am I? I don't even know. I think it was 16 years ago. We've also figured out that has kind of evolved into something they call hemicrania continua. So that is pretty much different head pains only on one side of your head. So I get sharp stabbing pains all throughout the right side of my head. It starts usually up here and it can go back. Mainly the sharp pains are right here. Nobody could tell me why. Nobody could tell me what happened. For years and years and years, I was told it was new daily persistent headache. Meaning you have a headache and we don't know why. I was like, cool. What do I do with this? And they're like, well, we don't know. I was taking 4 ibuprofens every single day. Like, I would take it, whatever the maximum dosage was. I was constantly asking my mom, hey, can I have ibuprofen? Can I have ibuprofen? To the point where it doesn't do anything for me anymore. So if I sprain something or if I get hurt, I can't take ibuprofen because it doesn't do anything. Lately, my mother-in-law has been giving me the rapid release Tylenol, and that seems to kind of take the edge off. But we didn't know what caused that. Fast forward, I was 18 and I had just gotten together with my husband, and I was telling him all of these health problems I was going through. And I was like, man, I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss. I haven't felt good in years. There's always just been something that doesn't feel right with me. I'm always exhausted. My head's hurt at that point, it was like 5 years. And I didn't know. I constantly felt sick. And I'd grown up that way, so I didn't really know the difference. And one of his friends had said that their daughter was starting to feel real sick, and they had posted, it was an article about Lyme disease. He's like, this sure sounds a whole lot like you. And so I kind of looked at the article. I was like, oh, no, you know what? That's right. And I tried to find what's called a Lyme literate doctor, and there was one in Arizona. And she was a naturopath, which that's great. Some people, holistic stuff works. For me, it didn't. It was just a bunch of really expensive, really nasty tasting drops I had to put in my mouth. I had to hold under my tongue. I was taking multiple different supplements and vitamins. It wasn't doing anything. I mean, maybe it was giving me, I don't know, a boost that I needed, but it wasn't curing me. So then we moved to New York, which was one of the better things that had happened. I found a really good Lyme literate doctor. She put me on all sorts of different antibiotics. I was doing mixes of antibiotics and supplements, and nothing was working. I ended up getting a PICC line, which, if you don't know, I still have a scar here. They put a little cut in your arm, and into one of your veins, they feed a tube down into the opening of your heart. And from that point on, you can do IV antibiotics daily. Because I was going in, my clinic was about 2 hours away from where I lived, and they were having me come in every other day to get these IV antibiotics, and it was extremely expensive. It was really hard on our car. It was a long drive. It just turned a really long day. So I ended up getting the PICC line, which it didn't do anything. I've been on pretty much every antibiotic under the sun. We kind of exhausted our options with her, and it was kind of in the right timeline that we moved down to where we are now. I did end up finding another doctor. She's about another hour and a half, 2 hours away as well. She's been fantastic to the point where she lets me do video appointments pretty much. I can do 2 to 3 video appointments, and then I have to come in for 1, and then 2 to 3. I'm kind of exhausting my treatments with her. I've been going to her for about 3 years at this point, and we're kind of at our last hurrah. I have a grocery bag full of pills I have to take every single day. I still am not up to the right dosage that I need to be at with all of these medications. I start one of the last ones to be added on, so for 1 week you have this, and then you add on, and then you add on, and every couple of days you add in a new supplement. So you're always adding something in after you kind of let your body have a rest to kind of figure out if it's going to be okay or if it's going to give you a reaction, which I've been good about not having reactions so far. The only thing is right now I'm herxing, which is the herx something effect. So it's basically your body is feeling the symptoms really, like, way worse. It makes you feel extremely sick. I'm at the point right now where I used to be able to play hockey twice a week. I can barely stand. I can barely stand to cook. I can't work out. I was working out every day, and I can't do it. It's been hot. It's been hard. I was trying to mix hard and tough. We're really hopeful that this is going to end up working, because after this, we don't know where to go. There is an option in Germany, but it costs $35,000 that you go into this clinic, and I think you stay there for 14 to 16 days, and they basically filter your blood. Then they put your new fresh blood back in, which it does work for some people, and for some people it doesn't. So I'm extremely hesitant to even kind of look into that, because that's a car. That's an entire car payment, and I could just be spending the money for nothing. So I don't know. We're not entirely sure where we're going to end up on this journey. I just know that something has to work. So if you're curious, if you have a mysterious illness that you can't figure out what's been going on with you, if you've been in an area where there's been bugs, it doesn't even have to be ticks. From what I understand, it can also be spiders and mosquitoes. So anything that if you get human blood in it and it can regurgitate that blood, it's a transfer of the bacteria. So at this point, we don't know. If you are curious about what the symptoms of Lyme disease are, if you think that it could be, you could have it, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always here to talk about it. I am a huge advocate for this kind of stuff. I want to be here to help people if I can, because I know if I can't completely get better, I want to help somebody else completely get better. But yeah, please feel free to reach out. I might be doing some more videos like this in the future. Maybe we'll be going over more of the symptoms I've been fighting, all sorts of different stuff. But I want this channel to be able to help people in any way I possibly can. So I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for sticking through the video, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.